Call me if you need someone to talk to. Call me. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call me. We want to know what's going on with you. What's the scoop? Taking it all across the world. We're going into Dr. J's Black Book. It's that time. Dr. J the counselor with his featured guest from his Black Book.
Family, this is your boy, Dr. J, and this is Do I Want to Stay Married, man? And we're dealing with a hot show. Guys, it's a hot one called Boots and Heels. And guys, you heard it, man. It's tied up in here. It's great. But guess I got a special treat for you today. An amazing, powerful young lady. Let me first say this right here. Now, she is considered the original bad girl of comedy, y'all. But don't get it twisted. She may be small in stature, but she big in personality. She has an infectious laughter. She's an amazing woman. She's a superwoman, y'all. And since we're talking about heels and boots tonight, let me tell you something. She wears them both. She knows how to put her stilettos on. And then she also knows how to put her boots on. Listen, she really needs no introduction, but she has appeared in the sequel, Power Book Ghost on Stars. She's appeared on various comedy specials, including with Cat Williams, American Hustle. She's appeared on Comedy After Dark, Comedy Central. She's been on movies like The Last OG. She's appeared in another Oscar-nominated film as A Star Is Born, Think Like a Man 2, Taken 2, Never Die Alone. Guys, she really needs no introduction, but she is the one and only my Black Book guest, Luenell, man. So I'm so glad to have you. How you doing, dear heart?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here tonight, my esteemed colleagues. And I want to just say that at this time in my life, those boots and stilettos are more like flip-flops and house shoes. I'm keeping it pretty close to the ground these days, honey. I had one knee surgery during this quarantine. I'm going to have the second one in about 2 weeks. So it's flip-flops and house shoes for me for right now, but I can be fabulous in heels or on the ground.
Well, Luenell, question for you though. Some people and I follow on social media here at KJLH. We wanted to know more about your, even amidst the pandemic, you are literally bringing your comedy to YouTube. What are you doing there with your comedy, and even amidst the pandemic right now? What are you doing?
Well, it wasn't my idea, but my friend told me I should start a YouTube show, and I said, well, I ain't doing nothing else, so I might as well. And I haven't had a break from doing stand-up comedy this long in, over 25 years. There's never been a year in all that time where I didn't work, where they do that at, you know what I mean? We just don't do that. And so we had to stay relevant. And also it gave me a chance to express myself, which is why I do stand-up in the first place. And it's not always jokes and fun and kikiing and all that. I started this before the Ahmaud Arbery murder. I started this before George Floyd. I went through the whole revolution. I got a tattoo because Prince had the revolution. We went through all this, and I talked about all of this leading up to now, through the election, through everything on my YouTube channel.
Now, Luenell, let me tell you. Now, I know you had your little surgery and everything, and I know you say, well, I'm gonna spray a little perfume here and there, but girl, now we got to give you a compliment because you was a part of something here, and I want people don't get it twisted with the sister. Now, you was with the Grammy Award-winning Rihanna. You literally tapped in. She literally made you a brand ambassador for her lingerie line, right? Now, talk to me about that now, sis. Come on now. You know what I mean? Because listen, that knee ain't keeping you down now. So what was that about? Mm-hmm.
Well, Rihanna's tour bus driver used to be a tour bus driver for me when I was on tour with Cat. He was my tour bus driver, and we remained friends for many years. So he was her tour bus driver all these months ago, and he called me late one night and was like, hey, we're just watching you on the tour bus. And he turned the phone and showed me the TV, and it was me from some comedy special I had done. And I'm like, well, we who? And he said, me and my client. And I said, well, who's your client? And then boom, Rihanna popped on the FaceTime, right? I'm like, oh my God, click. I told her that my daughter was a big fan of her makeup just before she had Fenty skin. And I said that, and I said, that's some pretty cute little lingerie you got there too. I said, too bad you don't make that for big curvy girls like me. She said, I do. I said, you do? She said, yes, I do. I said, well, I want to be a lingerie model. And she said, let's make it happen. And we laughed and we kikied and got off the phone. I didn't think no more about it because I'm like, yeah, right. 2 days later, she hit me in my DMs and asked for my email. I was like, oh my God, wait a minute. Okay, I shot her my email. Boom, boom, boom. The contract started coming. You got to post twice a month. We're going to pay you this amount of money. You're going to be in the fashion show. I don't know. I was like, what? And so now, now I got this sack of lingerie sitting in front of me and they want me to take pictures in it, So it wasn't like I was doing it for Rainbow. This is Rihanna, So yes. I said, well, let me, try to twist it this way. And I got rules. I don't shoot from the front because, I don't want nobody to see my little belly and I don't want to ruin nobody's life. So I just give them a little breasts, a little booty, Trying to show off the product. I'm just here to show off the product,
So, Luenell, you are actually, and it's actually getting ready to hit on Amazon, I think in the next day or two. You was a part of being on the sequel Coming to America, right? How was that? And that experience, and to even be doing the sequel, but how was that experience for you?
Well, first of all, it's on now.
Oh wow!
It's already dropped. People have already hit me and let me know they're watching it. How was it? It was like more than anything you could ever dream. 32 years ago, you don't think 32 years in the future. You don't even know if you're going to be alive 32 years in the future. You're young. So nobody was thinking about a sequel being made, let alone a sequel being made and you're in it. Like, who could dream that? You couldn't dream that. And with all them legends and doing it, to your right, you got James Earl Jones, and to the left, you got John Amos, and to the right, you got Wesley Snipes, and the left, you got Arsenio and Eddie's over here, and, other people. And it was, the dancers was happy, the wardrobe was amazing, the hair was phenomenal, the sets was perfect. You're on Tyler Perry's studio where you're going to work every day and seeing Sidney Poitier soundstage and Halle Berry soundstage and Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee soundstage and Whoopi Goldberg soundstage. It was the blackest, most beautiful experience in film I've ever had in my life.
Wow. First of all, sis, I want to say this. No, that is amazing. One, we applaud you. Do you hear me loud and clear? We applaud you. I don't think that people recognize, that sometimes, because I'm listening to you and you're saying this was not planned, right? And sometimes life just blesses you. But this is what I want to ask you before we get ready to tell the people where to find you. You are doing amazing things in the midst of a crisis, right? What would you say to those that look up to you and aspire to be like you? How do you give hope to people that are coming and trying to survive this moment? You kind of recreated yourself, is what I heard you say. You became innovative. Kudos. But what do you say to your followers and people that need hope right now?
Well, I don't think you should do anything unless you feel like you would die if you don't do it. If you like to write on the wall, do murals. If you like to take stuff apart and put it back together again, invent something. If you loud, be a public speaker. Whatever that it is that you have in you, and if it's something that you love and you're passionate about, then just do it. Quit talking about it, quit whining about it, quit asking people for their advice, because a real baller knows when you're doing a good job or not. You don't need to ask somebody for no advice. Now you just fishing for compliments and stuff, and that's weak.
That's touchdown, sis. Wow. This is what I want you to do. That was a touchdown. I want you to tell all of your fans, all of the country, and we thank you for being a part of this show today. Tell us how to find you.
Well, if you are no longer a member of the police department, you can find me on.
I'm sorry.
If you are now never been part of the police department, you can find me on Instagram at Luenell, at LUENELL. Or you can also find me on Facebook, the official Luenell. Okay, I just spelled my name. And then on my website, for merchandise and things like that, and bookings and so on and so forth. That's just heyluenell.com. I got a lot of clips on there and fun stuff that you can see on there and stuff like that. And my YouTube show that comes on every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's called Hey Luenell, HeyLuenell.
Listen here, y'all heard it live from the one and only Luenell. Thank you for being a part of Dr. J, the counselor. Do I Want to Stay Married on KGLH 102.3 all over the world.